It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your afternoon's forecast update for the whole state. And it is very calm out there right now. We continue that trend from the morning. You see really not a cloud in the sky over the entire state. No rain, of course, as well. And again, we'll expect that to continue through the rest of the day today, but we will have a few showers tomorrow that we'll talk about. But for right now, it is very calm out there and looks really nice looking at our SkyCam network. Orange Beach there at Perdido Pass looking beautiful with temperatures around 69 degrees. So that's a pretty cool day at the beach as we're at a little bit past 2 o'clock right now. Dew points at 51 degrees. That dry air mass has made it all the way to the Gulf. However, the winds have started to turn back around out of the south in some spots already ahead of this front that'll be coming through tomorrow. So we are going to see that moisture increase a little bit here tomorrow morning ahead of that front, but not a whole lot. But looking at Dauphin Island, you got some blue skies there as well. Looking to the north, it's 72 degrees, so a little bit warmer there, and the dew point's at 54. You get occasional gusts up to about 23 miles per hour, again, out of the southeast with the winds there. Dozier looking nice there with blue skies and maybe just a couple of clouds there, not many of those around the entire state. It's 74 degrees there, and the wind again turning from the east a little bit there as you move up to the further to the north. Mount Cheaha, beautiful view there atop the 2,407 feet there. It's 66 degrees there. The dew points are in the 30s atop the mountain there, and just a beautiful view there way off into the distance. And as we move up to the northwestern part of the state, Russellville's looking nice as well, 69 degrees there. Again, we're starting to see some southeasterly winds with that. That'll help to get a little bit of moisture in place before that front comes through, but it won't be a whole lot. Looking at your temperatures right now, we've warmed into the 70s primarily at 72 in Alexander City, 71 in Gadsden, only 69 degrees in Huntsville and also in Hamilton, but most places have warmed into the 70s, so it's a very comfortable, nice, dry day, fall feeling day across the board. Forecast low tonight will be similar fall feeling, especially on the eastern side of the state where we expect 40s again. Could get down to 43 degrees in Gadsden, 46 in Auburn, 47 in Eufaula. A little bit warmer towards the west where we'll see a little bit of that return flow starting to come in to increase the moisture just a little bit. So only maybe low 50s towards the west and towards the south. Don't think we'll be quite as cold in some of the spots this morning where we saw some 30s in the cooler spots. I think we'll wait one more morning before we do that again after the front passes. Here's your forecast highs for tomorrow. After start with that cool start, we'll expect to get into the 70s up in the Tennessee Valley through places like Birmingham. But as you move further to the south, as we get a little bit of that, again, that return flow ahead of that front, we'll see a fairly warm day in the southern part of the state where we see low to mid 80s before the front gets through there. And then after that, we'll cool down the whole state again past that. So here's a story here with what we're watching. A few showers again tomorrow along that front, which will mostly be a fairly dry passing of the front, not nearly as much moisture to work with as what we saw yesterday. So most places I think will stay dry. You'll have possibly a passing shower or two in a few spots, but the coolest air so far of the season will come in behind that. So we've already had the coolest air here this morning, but we'll see another reinforcing shot of that as we get into a couple of mornings from now. And then rain returns on Sunday in a little bit more significant fashion where we'll expect to see maybe an inch of rain in some spots. And so that'll be our next kind of significant chance of some rain. Here's a look at your futurecast. Not much to show here, but you can see the wind vectors there starting to already come out of the south and southeast like we mentioned earlier. And then as we get into tomorrow morning, could already have some showers, light showers moving through the northern part of the state. So again, don't expect anything significant, no significant accumulations. There won't really be any thunder with any of this, just a brief shower or two, and many places again staying dry. Of course, you'll have cloud cover associated with that as well. As we get to the afternoon, as we get a little bit more heating of the day, might see a few heavier showers that get to pop along the front along with that. But again, that should be a brief thing, and then you can see starting to dry out pretty quickly behind that, moving through pretty quickly by the time we get to late Tuesday night. We've just got a handful of showers left over in the Wiregrass, and then everything's kind of pushing out after that. And as we move through the next couple of days after that, we dry out again, really till the end of the week and mostly into Saturday. You do see, as we get to Friday evening, some showers there up into parts of Missouri. That's kind of evidence of that next system approaching that next front. But through Friday and through most of Saturday, we should be dry. Here's a look at the forecast dew points with that front coming through tomorrow. So again, we see right now we're very dry, but as we get into tomorrow morning, there's that little bit of a surge of moisture trying to make it back into the state ahead of the front. That's around 8 a.m. By 1 p.m., we've got dew points in the 60s there right in front of the front. So again, enough to maybe squeeze out a few showers, but then it quickly dries out again behind the front. So we're back down with dew points in the 30s, and that's going to allow us to see those cold temperatures again for a few mornings after that. Here's the rainfall outlook through tomorrow. This is not all the way out 7 days like we sometimes show you. This is just through tomorrow. And again, rain totals will be very meager. Maybe somebody will get 1/100 of an inch or so, but it's really, mainly kind of a trace. So we don't really expect much. Again, nothing significant coming out of that. Now, as we look further ahead into the weekend, that's where we do have the potential for some significant rainfall. Now, this is Saturday at 6. So you can see at that point, most of the showers still staying off to the west. So we think most of the day on Saturday will be dry. A few showers could start to sneak in later in the day on Saturday, especially in the western side of the state. Then as we get into late Saturday night and into Sunday, then more widespread showers and thunderstorms move through. So by noon on Sunday, it looks like we got a pretty good coverage of showers and thunderstorms across the state. We'll see enough rain that we could see some good rain totals around an inch or so. And as we get through Sunday night, still some lingering showers possible at that point. So here's that rainfall outlook for that time period. And again, could see an inch of rain or so in spots. So especially in kind of the northern half of the state, could see over an inch, but in many cases it's going to be kind of a 1/2 inch to 1 inch kind of deal. A lot of the significant rainfall stays, unfortunately, back towards the west. You see a lot of that back there, so we don't get nearly as much as you move further to the southeast, where by the time you get down to Dothan, and not really showing hardly anything at all. But again, we'll hope for a little bit more than that. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for North Alabama. So again, today, rest of today is beautiful. Tonight is beautiful, and then again, we have that chance of showers coming in with the front, very isolated in nature, brief, and then we cool off, see the highs in the 60s on Wednesday, and the lows down in the 40s. Again, I think we'll see plenty of upper 30s again, and maybe a few more chances of frost as we get through the rest of the week. And then again, Sunday, the main chance of showers and thunderstorms with enough rainfall to be measurable as we get into Sunday. And then for South Alabama, again, the rest of the day today looks very nice. Tonight will be very nice. And then maybe even just a little bit of a smaller chance of showers. We think as the front moves further to south, it'll kind of lose a little bit of its dynamics, so there won't be as much rain probably further south. And then again, we cool back off a little bit with highs on the upper 70s, maybe low 80s, lows down in the 40s. And then rain returns again for Sunday. And again, we'll hope our best to get a good bit of rainfall out of this to help us along a little bit more. Well, that is your Alabama statewide forecast. We appreciate you watching us here on the Alabama Weather Network.